Okay.
Welcome back to the Skeinz
Whew.
Diaries. We're literally putting both of us up on the screen at the same time,
The goose has
fingers and
landed.
toes crossed, and hoping everything works. It's technical. This is what happens when we don't catch up as often
I
as should
know.
catch up. Of course, I've got Ethan here from Get Flocked down in Christchurch.
Hi.
Hi. And I saw that being posted over the weekend, and I just thought to myself, I need to contact
Yeah.
you.
So I've had a bit of a moment. I'm not particularly great at spontaneous. That's not really my jam, everyone. For those of you who know me, it makes sense. If you don't know me very well, you may be surprised by this news. And I have been trying to figure out how to do something like this for quite a while. As you know, I really like European tile, and I take a lot of photos of it when I travel. And this kind of triple floral motif is really popular throughout Spain. You see it kind of quite a bit, not usually rendered in this sort of Portuguese azul situation, but rendered in different colors and in wrought iron and all over the place. So I was actually flipping through a weaving book full of weaving charts, and weaving charts and knitting charts aren't quite the same thing. Weaving charts work on a dots per inch situation, which makes them a little hard to work from. But so this is actually a weaving chart inspired, a Latvian weaving chart that was inspired by Spanish tile. That I have converted into a knitting chart. And I had a colorwork class to teach. This is what happened. I had a colorwork class to teach everyone, and I'm teaching steeking this coming weekend. And I don't know about the rest of you, but steeking a tiny swatch this big isn't going to teach you anything about steeking realistically, right? So usually I send out this homework and then everyone does it, and then people make a tiny steek swatch that has no purpose. What are you going to do? Use it as a coaster? What is this, 1942? Like, you're not going to make a sampler blanket of all the swatches that you made over your life because we don't do that anymore. So thought to myself, two birds, one stone. I'm going to make something so that I can teach two-handed color work while I'm walking around and talking. And I'm also going to make it a steeked project so that I can use this as the steeking sample and everyone can work and steek this as a group instead of steeking their own individual things. Now, the problem you may have noticed, everyone, is I'm knitting a new pattern that I had to come up with because I went to, Ravelry, and I thought surely someone has a vaguely men's shaped worsted weight at a appropriate gauge for worsted weight yarn and color work. Steeked cardigan or pullover. And you know what? This is probably not going to surprise you. There was almost none.
Shocker.
Yeah. So here we are.
It's very
Knitting from a
effective.
Latvian weaving chart. Thank you.
It is very, very effective. It's very pretty.
Yeah. Honestly, I knit a lot of stockinette, as we all know. If you've been following along, I'm a big stockinette. I'm wearing a big stockinette thing that I knit recently. And I've been a little bored. So I thought that this would be fun. And I don't usually just run with ideas, but I have just run with this one, and it's turning out quite well, I think. So
Yeah.
there we are,
But
everyone.
also too, that just shows you the value of contrast and color and good,
Yeah,
beautiful geometric shapes.
exactly. And just like, if it's not broke, don't fix it, I
Yeah.
guess is my other big memo, everybody. Like, yeah, sure, everybody is running around out there promising you wonders and joys from round jokes and all of this stuff and this and that, but you know what? The it's just going to be a drop shoulder cardigan, everybody. It's a really simple shape with really effective color work in two colors. You don't need to do anything crazy. The longest float section is like, I think 9. So there's one spot in the whole thing where you actually have to catch your floats. Um, and it's just, yeah. We're doing a European summer theme for our next knit along. And because Flocktober is coming, everyone, like the great white whale. Um, and I mean, I'm always cold, even in the summer. This is very European. I'm using very European yarn because I have Gilliatt from Durham. So this guy is their colorway Cell, because all the colorway names are French. And this one's Clémentite. And I was standing there looking at them over the last couple of months and thinking to myself, wouldn't that just make some fantastic color work? And yes, it's not an optical illusion. There are 2 spinning wheels back there. Don't at me. There's an e-spinner over there as well, okay, everyone? So,
I
like,
know.
keep
We
it.
have been doing a little bit of that. Well, I'm going to show you this because
Yes.
I have bought this in
Yeah,
not
what have you got on the go?
so we've got the and you saw the production. So of course, because he is the menace that he is, and he was staying at my
Oh,
house during Cannes, so of course he gets to see all the things that shouldn't be
I don't know
seen
what you
because he gets.
mean.
So there's the
Yes.
swatchy roux. So of course we hadn't balled this at the time that we grabbed it, so I've got mine sitting on a cone. So the Cannes vest,
Yes.
right,
Which we all loved.
which we all loved. I have gone and now taken said Cannes vest, and I'm now translating it
Oh,
into Mohair.
there we go.
There we go. And so I'm actually writing more notes because, of course, it was very scratch notes first time round.
Yes.
Writing more notes this time round, which is good because then I'll be sending you those notes to grade, darling.
Thank,
And
thank God.
yeah, I know because because
Oof.
I'm hopeless at it, but it's chugging along and it's actually nice. And I mean, you've just knitted
Yeah.
that double stranded with a little bit of fluff as well. It's because is that
Yeah.
part of your Danish confection?
This is another Danish confection. So this one is Phil, Colana, Arwetta, and Tilia. So Arwetta is their base yarn. So it's
Mm.
a superwash merino and nylon, 20% nylon, 80% superwash merino. So great drape, really smooth hand. That kind of soft coolness that
Mm.
comes from nylon as a fiber. Like there are some man-made fibers to be suspicious of, everyone. We can talk about that at length, but nylon is actually not one of them. It does actually add something to wool in certain
Mm.
instances, and I think when we're looking at these higher density spun, very fine fingering weights, that the nylon gives you a certain robustness and elasticity that the superwash would otherwise actually lack.
Mm.
So it's kind of a best of both worlds properties. And the silk mohair that sorry, Baudelaire is on.
I know. All I saw was ears.
Yeah, yeah, breaking news. I'm at home, everyone. This is my home office, and so there are dogs and lots of yarns just laying around on the floor, and fiber by the kilo. Actually, this is 5 kilos because it's faster that way. Um, Yikes. So yeah, so this is a double-stranded situation, which I'm really into at the moment. I'm quite enjoying the build your own final fabric nature of it. It's kind of like you go in now in the shop, in my case, and it's a little bit more of a yarn buffet. Like you're going in and you're seeing a wide selections of things that you can pair together and layer together piece by piece to create different final fabrics that you're looking for. So instead of trying to find that perfect blend yarn that's 20% alpaca and 10% silk and blah, 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 Nature's on Stage Luxury. I'm looking at you. Why were you in every magazine for like 2 years? And yet I could never find the yarn. I have so many questions, everyone. Anyway, moving on. But so what this is essentially doing, everybody, with what we're doing with these double and triple stranding is taking that blending and putting it into your hands. And it also then gives you the ability to play with a final fabric while achieving the same gauge. Because you could take orb fine and use it in place of the silk mohair
Mm.
in so many different patterns and applications and get that same more robust rounded thing with that beautiful luster and texture through it, but it would be a smooth finish. So I think that's kind of what's been coming in a lot with the Assayer stuff in the shop for us,
Mm.
and now with the Filcolana, because whew, Ethan, Andrew, Barkley, and you have ordered both 100% sparkle yarn, which I'm still, every time I see it on the shelf, I'm like, oh my God. Um, yeah, I know. I was badgered. It's okay. And I actually have our first cotton blend in the shop, 50% cotton, 50% a superwash merino. So, you know, get your like binoculars out, everybody. Pigs are set to fly at any moment.
Well, I have to admit, so the fun stuff for us at the moment has been that mohair, and it has
That mohair is
that
fab.
that fabric though. Like, I mean, that's what I did with the can sweater. Was I can
Hmm.
hear Bo. Was that Bo snorting?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. We're
Well,
talking. This
yeah,
is his nap time.
is creating those two fabrics. Like I had that
Hmm.
very fine one from Stash, mixed it with the Highlander heathers and the Oban. And this is the thing you're looking to and creating fabrics. That's what
Yeah.
you're doing. And I think sometimes we forget that. I forget that we are
Yeah.
creating fabrics, and even when it's like coming to oopsie, let's not have the cone fall over. It's just, I mean, I'm loving the fabric with this, but also, do you know what I'm loving? I got into work this morning. I'm going to show this to you because I'm clearly someone came in. There must be spring cleaning going on, because
Oh, yes.
what happens is people will come in and bring me they'll do some spring cleaning, and they'll go through all these old patterns, or they'll decide that they're just not going to knit them. And I haven't even gone through these yet. I'm gonna I think we should do this together, because you and I, it's not even all of them, there's a whole heap, but there's nothing better. But
This
there's
could be
some
our annual trend. Like we should every year just get, oh, okay. Yes, that is definitely serving some Noragon 1980s energy.
and did you see she's just relaunched the
Yeah.
Gardener? And I mean,
Yeah.
hey, doesn't it?
Whoa.
I know, right?
She has been setting trends in this industry for 4 decades, and it is shocking.
Okay, you ready? You ready? You ready?
Emotionally or physically, let's do this. Oh my. Oh, I oh, Serdar, what have you done? Is this technically a crime against humanity? I'm asking for a
Oh, look at that. And we know, so there we go. It was 7.5p back in the day. That's how much it
that.
cost.
So what would that be? Like, what is that not in the Queen's money? Sorry, everyone.
25 cents, it said.
25 cents. Okay. Sorry, I did not Canada eschewed the pound quite early compared to the other colonies. Oh my
It's
goodness.
actually
Those
quite
are
sweet.
majestic.
And I
Majestic.
quite like, look, Coro knit. So there are going to be people out there that are going to recognize these.
See, this is the problem, is that a lot of the vintage patterns are really great and actually deserve some of our time and attention.
They do. They do. And see, look at this. So this one, oh gosh, and this one came
Says the
from,
man knitting a Denby
I
teapot.
know, and Kathy, I'm glad you're here, Kathy, because this one came from Woolly Weavers in Gisborne. And Kathy will remember Woolly Weavers very, very well. But I mean, see, imagine that in a fine fingering or lace
Oh,
plate with
yeah,
a
that would
little
be
bit of mohair.
beautiful.
That'd be really pretty. This is why I
I
love
have to
going
say,
through.
everyone, honestly, too, the mohair held double, like 2 strands of mohair plus 1 strand of um, fingering weight is also very luxurious and should be high on the radar of combinations.
Yeah.
That's what I
And
did the green one in.
this must be, just looking at the date of it, I would say this would have been channeling young princesses back in the day.
Oh,
Look at
that's
that.
amazing.
Look at that.
So what's I just I'm so sold.
I know. So you can tell what I'm going
These
to be
vintage
doing over
patterns are
lunch, yeah?
great.
I know.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I know,
So
right?
I have been spinning.
You go
Let
on.
me grab something I prepared earlier through the magic of television. So I have been spinning, and I do have something that I finished recently. I'm in a bit of a spinning slowdown just so that I can get some knitting done. Um, frogger to finish it September waits for no one. But I did spin
Oh,
this.
that's come up well. Guy's saying
Yeah.
any from Melbourne Cash. Guy, give me a minute. There's bound to be something there from Melbourne Cash.
Yeah, so this is a fractal ply. It's about 80 grams. There are some fluffy loose sections, as to be expected at this stage of the spinning, but overall, quite knittable. So this is a 5-color fractal ply. So I spun 5 colors in equal measure, 40 grams worth divided by 5, so 8 grams of each color in a sequence. And then I took the same amount of yarn and divided it by 5, and then spun 5 of those together in equal measure, and then I applied it together. So you'll get a color shifting rainbow effect where each of the solids will move slowly down where it occurs according to where it falls in the two fractals lining up.
Yeah. Otherwise known as our pulse people.
Yeah, I made pulse by hand, and it instead of, and just for the record, guys, so let me tell you how good of a bargain hand spinning is. So instead of paying, what's pulse retailing at right now? 50 grams?
5.95.
Wow, instead of paying 5.95 for 50 grams of yarn, you could pay $80 for, oh no, $100 for the fiber, which you will not use all of, just for the record. So $100 for the fiber, and then you could carefully weigh it all, lay it out in a specific order, lay it out a second time in a second specific order, hand spin it, and then spend, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this, 4 hours plying it together. Bargain, right? In comparative terms, why would you spend 5.90? So this is my PSA team. It is worth it to buy yarn.
But you know what they say,
yeah.
sometimes it's the journey, Ethan, not the destination.
Sometimes, but I feel like those people are process knitters and those people are idiots. No offense, guys. Because knitting is inherently tedious, and it's okay to admit this. That's why television and audiobooks exist and podcasts galore, thank God. But yeah, no, I am actually really in love with the process of the hand spinning. It's, as somebody who works with a lot of yarn every year and knows how to hand spin, I have a more than basic grasp of it, but not having spent any time doing it. It's been a really rewarding part of the process. And this, just for the record, Annette Montgomery, the lovely Annette from Twisted Sisters, explained to me how to make this fractal in less than 4 minutes. So if you're looking for somebody to teach you some hand spinning stuff and you ever see her come up, she is definitely the person, because she makes it so easy and accessible and makes it so accomplishable for any level of spinner to walk in and make something amazing off the bat. So nothing but good things to say there about another one of the people that we work with.
Yeah, well, and I mean, if you're ever, and I know, so she does a lot of spinning workshops through the Creative Fibre Network. So if you're ever wanting to learn how to use art yarns or spin art yarns, Annie is your gal for all of that. So
yeah, so that is what's been going on. I am going to now spin the 5 colors and the remainder into 5 single colors, and then make a 5-stripe cardigan, 5-stripe repeating cardigan out of the colors in the order of the fractal.
Because
it's a giant math nerd joke, everyone. Because why not, right? Bifurcated Fibonacci sequence, everyone, in a decile of 5.
You really do have far too much time on your hands.
I really don't, but this is just what goes through my head. So there we go, everybody. That's what has happened there. But yeah, this also, so I started this 3 days ago, I think. And I've just started the neckline shaping now. So another couple of inches, we'll bind off some armholes, cast on some armhole steeks, and we'll be nearly done.
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw. Well, well, we're just sort of tracking along here. The big news that we've had is, of course, we finally got Afterpay. Yay!
Oh, yes. Welcome to the party.
Very exciting. I know it's taken forever. So that has definitely been going down well with everyone. So it's been great. Also, too, Southland is September. And the wonderful Suye Tay, she just posted up about an hour ago a gorgeous Southlander review with a whole bunch of projects. So do check that out. That she's the Dragon Knitter on Instagram. Guys, just asking, is the project going to be a raglan? No, I think you said it's a drop shoulder, isn't it?
No, this one's going to be a drop shoulder for sure. I find that the raglan steek items have a really high shoulder slippage tendency. They're not particularly structurally sound. So I will probably be avoiding that shape.
Yeah.
Sorry,
so she's just gone and posted that for Southlander September.
And she's absolutely a fabulous knitter to be following on any of the social media channels.
Yeah, she's amazing, and she's so prolific. So her work, and she loves New Zealand yarns. Even though she's based in Australia, she does work a lot in Kiwi yarns. So it's definitely worth checking her out. But I saw Nora had released that new pattern, and it's it's sort of like it's a reworking.
Revisited.
It's a reworking, I think, of one of her earlier works, isn't it?
So Menos del Uruguay has been producing Maxima, since it used to be called Maxima Classica, now it's just called Maxima, but they've been producing it since, I think they said 1952 in their own Instagram post about it. It's their longest running yarn and their first yarn from the dyeing collaboration. So Menace do Uruguay, if you guys aren't familiar with them, they are the pioneers of the kettle dyeing, actually, not Malabrigo, sorry everybody. And more importantly, they started the women's dyeing collective movement. So in a really cool, female-driven, very entrepreneurial manner, they work in collective groups to dye the yarns that are spun commercially in a mixture of mills across South America with some of the highest quality yarn that they can make. And then we around the world sell it. I sell some Manos, et cetera, et cetera. So Nora Gone, when she was a university student, going through, and I believe she was doing textile designs at the University of Massachusetts, because I'm a huge loser. And I've gone there and stayed in the same dorm. Ha, big loser. Anyway, so she designed the Gardner pullover for herself, actually. She designed and knit it and wore it. And now she's released it as a pattern nearly 40 years later. In the exact same yarn, because it's still around, which is just like one of those. And she still has the original jumper, which pretty much looks like it was just knit, because hand knit stuff stands the test of time, everybody.
Yeah.
Over and over again.
And Manos is amazing too, because they're a cooperative as well. So it's not just, so if you go to Uruguay and you visit a Manos de Uruguay store, it's like kind of going to a Uruguayan trade aid. I'd be a really good way to describe it, but it's taking these beautiful handwork cooperatives from all around the country and allowing them an ability to be able to show their work. So there's yarn, there's knitting, there's beautiful garments, and sewn
textiles,
homeware.
Some of them sell very like large sewing panels of beautiful hand woven tapestry style work. Yeah, they're super cool.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. Very cool. Oh, well, that sounds like everything's very busy at your end, so that's lovely. And so, as you said, classes are back up and running. Yeah, we're just chugging along here. As I said,
classes
Southland
are
is
indeed
September.
back up and running.
And actually,
so what is going on with Southland or September? Just
what's
in case
going on with
somebody
Southland
is not on the know.
$6.95. I know, it's such great value, and that's across all the Southlander. And the other thing too, I popped out actually on the newsletter this morning was just a little spring newsletter, because there are babies in the air. It's not only baby lamb land, it's little babies. And
baby knitting is the hot ticket at the moment, everybody.
So we've been talking, we've been doing that, and we've got lots of patterns and big pattern refresh from Lisa Reef, plus for Southland to September, a whole bunch of the vintage Lisa Reef patterns. So it's just been quite good. But this is what I'm loving about this. So thank you to whoever dropped all these off. If you're watching, I'm going to have so much fun. But see, this is where you need to dig through. Look at that.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I know.
So lovely.
But I mean, even stuff like this, I mean, I'd look at that. I'd maybe modified the sleeve slightly, but there's just, look, timeless.
Exactly.
So
timeless
good.
classics, everybody.
Timeless classics. You'll be amazed at what you've got in there. All right, well, I'll let you go since you're knitting away. And everybody, you take care. And remember, as I said, Afterpay is up and running, and I'll be back here again on Thursday. We'll do it all again.
Okay.
All right, take care.
Bye.